We have no action coming out of executive session. Please go green. And Tracy, you recommend your mic. Also the one on the podium. We have no action coming out of executive session, so we'll reach a portion of the meeting where we welcome public participation. If you signed up to speak or you wish to address the board now, you have a 2-minute limit. My clerk will let you know when you're approaching the limit. Conversation. And is there anybody who would like to speak to the board at this point? Anybody? Nobody signed up? Okay. In that case, I should turn over to you back to the superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A few things before we get to our BBL KQ presentation. Just, like I've tried to do the last few meetings, getting this time of year, there are a lot of events, and I know some of them I missed, but I try to hit as many as I can. Really, what I want to point everyone's attention to is to our website, where we have all the moving up ceremonies next week. Meyer Elementary had the grade 4 moving up ceremony on the 19th. Robert Graves has theirs on the 23rd. GW will have theirs Wednesday, June 24th. And then Chamber, Crosby, Edson, and JFK will have theirs on the 25th. Bailey Middle School is going to have their grade 8 moving up ceremonies Thursday on June 25th. Team Rockets and Team Gladiators will be at 12:15, and then Team Revolutionaries and Team Dragons will be at 1:45. They split it up. Miller is the 25th at 11 a.m. The high school baccalaureate is Monday, June 22nd at Congregation Emmanuel of the Hudson Valley at 6:30 p.m. The students will be gathering and assembling in Academy Park if you just want to drive by and look. And of course, Kingston High School graduation is Friday the 26th at 5 p.m. In case of inclement weather, a notice will be located on posts on kingston.org, but we're not going to worry about that because it's going to be good weather. It's going to be cool and sunny. 0% chance of thunder. A couple Board of Education members have asked just for a bit of information on the Smart Schools Bond Act. Mr. Perner did leave you a lengthy sheet, and I guess the question is, what are we doing so far? And pretty much what we're doing is creating this lengthy sheet. At this point, just getting an understanding of where we are. And I did want to just highlight and point to your attention to what can districts do with the money. We can install broadband internet connectivity for schools and the community, acquire technology. We can do capital work for pre-K programs and replacement of classroom trailers if we want to. Installation of high-tech security features. Like I said, in front of you, you have a long list of different things. What kind of planning is necessary, what's included in the application process, and what about the money? How is it distributed to the districts? So I just wanted to make sure you had that information. We are still in the very early stages of planning. We're really in the stages of understanding exactly what we can do. So we were there. One positive thing is it is a reimbursement program. Again, we have a lot of planning requirements, but it's reimbursement after we spend it, and the money does not go away. So we have time to take a look and really plan well and make sure that we use this money for what the district will best serve our students. So it's as you can see, it's a pretty. This really is a brief of what the Smart Schools Bond Act is about. So we're getting to understand it. I know a lot of people have their antennas up about it. We did send our tech people to a training at BOCES, a meeting at BOCES about it, so they can come back with some of the information that they need. So we're going to put that all together and make some decisions and make some recommendations.
I would like to suggest that the administration, especially, since we can do internet connectivity for schools and community, that we work with the city to try to have a plan where neighborhoods that, in the more economically disadvantaged areas, have some kind of wireless access for students who live there.
We kind of brainstormed just really initially thinking about community centers, libraries, boys club, the YMCA. How can we work with those community groups to in this act? So we're going to, like I said, look to make community partners out of this and install that broadband internet connectivity wherever we can. And we're going to focus on where our kids congregate, where our students congregate, so we can give access to them. I'll keep you posted as we move forward, but like I said, the good news is the money doesn't go away, so we have the opportunity to really plan. Just one last thing, it wasn't on the agenda, but I do want to bring it to the board's attention, and I have a copy here, and I will share it with anyone else. A Reason and Rhymes come out from Kingston High School. I had the opportunity to read it last week, and I lent it to Mrs. Shear. I'm sure we can get more copies, but if someone wants to borrow mine, it's here. It's great. I mean, it's our students' work. It's artwork. It's poetry. It's really well done, and the production of it is high quality. This is something like we get in a bookstore, so it's excellent work. So I'll leave this here, and anyone who wants to borrow it, you can sign it out later. And that was it for me. Now we have BBL with our little presentation on our summer work, as well as in conjunction with KSQ presentation on the Second Century Project. We have Scott Hilge. I see Armand is here. Armand Rodriguez is here, and of course the ever-present Robin Twitter.
I had sent out the update on the summer program, so you should have that information in your packet. I just want to give you another update. We had another progress meeting today, and just so you're aware, BBL now, we have a full-time superintendent on site. We have another full-time superintendent that will be starting on the 29th. At George Washington, all the Unistrut installation will be complete this Friday, and we'll start doing the piping for the heating system on Monday. All the variances for the school have been received for the abatement work. Neil Planta will start installing the containment at GW and at Miller on Monday. The electricians and the plumbers will go in boiler rooms and do their disconnects. And then on the 29th, we'll start all of the contractors on site. We'll start with Meyer Contracting at the auditorium stairs at GW. Today we chose the capstone color, getting all new capstone and brickwork at GW leading into the auditorium. The electricians and the plumber is also on board to start on the 29th. We're finalizing a detailed phasing for the work to sequence the work and the abatement. Submittals are all being finalized, RFIs are being responded to, and then we have our next progress meeting. We have a progress meeting every week, but we'll skip next week, so it'll be on June 1st or July 1st. On the pool, the submittals have been received. They're being processed now. Time was built into the original schedule because of the unknown depth of the concrete where the drain and everything was. It's pretty minimal, so they'll be back on site on June 29th, and the drains and everything are coming in on July 2nd. So we're all on schedule for the pool work. And the tile color choice was made today. It's really not that, it doesn't even sound that exciting, does it? But it's all being progress, and it's all coming along just on schedule and good, and that's the summer project. I'll turn it over to Scott for the more exciting project.
So with the Second Century Project, we continue to make progress, working with SED for approvals along the way. So the field house, last time we met, as we had indicated, was approved at that point by the State Education Department. And we have since gone out to bid with this project. So it is what we call on the streets. So contractors are able to pick up the drawings and specifications. And I won't go through every single date, but bids are expected to be received on July 16th for the field house project. And that was strategically chosen so that the contractors can mobilize before the start of school, so they can start to enclose the site, they can start moving equipment on, and everything will be safe by the time students start to return. Moving on to the Salzman Core Academic Building, if you recall in our last discussion, we had talked about the strategy of breaking that project into two pieces. The early package, which includes the foundations, the steel, and the exterior walls and windows and roofs that will enclose the building. That was one piece. We submitted that simultaneously with the rest of it, which would be all of the interiors, the mechanical, electrical, plumbing. However, they were on separate tracks for approvals. We did that so that we can get an early start on the building itself, knowing that the mechanical, electrical, plumbing review is such an extended period of time up at the state right now. Right now, it's running 32 to 36 weeks in that range. So, with that said, we've been working over the last several weeks with SCD to finalize the early package. We expect approval of that package within the next few days, early next week. Working with BBL, of course, we're already finalizing the bid documents so that we can get onto the street rather quickly, right after the approval, and we expect to be out to bid sometime in early July, with bids coming in late July, and again, we'd like to see some of these contractors mobilized on site before school starts. The other project that we submitted more recently to SED was the main building boiler abatement project, boiler room abatement project. So this is a project that is in preparation for work to come in the coming years. So next year we'll be actually doing mechanical changes to the building, but this year we wanted to get the abatement done so that we don't have to spend that amount of time next summer. So we were lucky to get an approval on July 12th, which was last Friday. I'm sorry, June 12th, last Friday, and we're working with BBL to get this on the street immediately. Bidding documents available as of June 25th. Then we have a pre-bid where we meet with all of the contractors on site so they can see the extent of the work and they understand it better. And then sealed bids will be received on July 9th. Again, this project is scheduled for this summer completion, so we want to get the contractors on site in July and finish up before the students return. The swimming pool repair project was already bid about a month ago, I think, and work has already started. The pool was drained, and some of the initial work has been started already. The pool had closed early so that we could get that project started. Yes. And then, as I had mentioned, the Salzman, the remaining piece of that, we anticipate a approval sometime in October, and then we would be out to bid a target date of mid-November with the remaining portions of the Salzman academic expansion. And that's where we are with the progress.
Just have a comment. It's very exciting to be started. I think we actually started on this stuff. I'm really encouraged to see that.
Yes.
And we'll be receiving a report every month.
Yes. We'll be coming back. So this time next month, we should have more exciting news to report.
And what color are the tiles?
We settled on blue. It's like a midnight blue.
Beautiful. I think that is exciting.
She tries to blend
Oh, okay. Well, the blue sounds good.
Blue is very nice.
Does it say tigers on the? No.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Swimming.
now reached the approval of minutes for May 20th, June 3rd, and June 4th. We take them one at a time. May 20th, you should have received electronically from Mr. Perna a couple of days ago. So, I'll entertain a motion, accept the minutes of the Wednesday, May 20th, 2015 meeting.
So moved.
Second. Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the May 20th meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Moving along to June 3rd. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes of June 3rd.
I just have, I don't know if this is wrong or not, but on page 3, it says Mrs. Bowers noted the donations.
I said you already let me know, and I'm going to correct that.
And then on page 15, I don't recall going back to public session after that.
I think you have to just, I mean, as a formality.
We didn't go back to,
Well, we were done for the night.
right, right.
It's a formality to close the meeting.
Okay. I didn't know if we had.
No, but we knew we would have no action.
Right. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's one correction on page 3, that Mrs. Bowers changed to Mrs. Collins. It happens for many years ago, Mrs. Bowers. So,
I'm actually her, so.
all those in favor of the minutes of June 3rd as corrected, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? Okay, on to the minutes of June 4th, the special meeting. It should read Thursday. Aside from that, Thursday, Wednesday to Thursday, any other? Okay, I'll entertain a motion. To accept minutes June 4th.
Second.
All those in favor? Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Are there any resolutions that any board member would like pulled from the consent agenda? Yes.
P161,
P161,
P163,
P163,
P164,
P160, thank you,
and B140.
and P140. I'd also like to pull CS30 and BOE 95. Anybody else?
I'll pull 95 as well.
Thank you. Okay, so 2 for BOE 95.
Try and follow along.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda minus P161, P163, P164, P140, CS30, and BOE 95.
Should be B140.
I'm sorry, what is that? Is it B140
B140,
or
did you say that?
B140,
Okay, sorry.
thank you very much.
B140?
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all those in favor of the consent agenda minus P161, 163, 164, B140, CS30, and BOE 95, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And carries. I'd like to start with P161.
Okay.
Okay? Are they going to go together? Consecutively?
No, probably not.
Okay? So that's
Okay.
all under professional personnel.
Yeah, but let me do 161.
I need a motion. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept P161.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Okay, now I can discuss. Since I'm fairly new at this, and this is my first year at new stuff for the new year, just curious how many hours, and there are 96 people. Is that normal?
Yes.
For curriculum writing?
It's pretty normal. I mean, we have a budget, we have a budget figure for this, and we won't, can't exceed that for the summer curriculum writing.
Okay. It
this
takes
year-
that many people, though, 96?
Yeah, we probably have 30 or 40 different curriculum
Okay,
writing projects going on throughout the district.
all right,
So there's,
okay. Thank you.
that summer too small by the high school, you think it's a regular school day.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't know.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of P161, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. P162.
So I guess-
Development.
Six-
No, it wasn't posed.
63.
That
No,
wasn't
63.
posed.
So I guess it's the
P163.
same, oh, we need a
It's
motion.
actually,
Get on a roll. Professional.
We need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
So that, again, is CSE meetings and services. There are 94 total on here.
that's really just creating a pool.
Oh, okay.
Pool of people to draw from. So we ask as many people as we can, so we
Okay.
have them all approved, and, the chances that we're going to use, we won't
won't,
use every
okay.
one of these people, but it's just an opportunity to have a pool, because different vacations, people
Okay.
with those kind of things, so we create a decent-sized pool there.
Yes, so, 94. Thank you.
Any other questions on P163? All right, all those in favor of P163, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And on to P164. I'll entertain a motion to accept P164.
Second. Oh, motion.
Second. Okay, discussion.
Okay, now I noticed on this is a BLT work, and I've been on the BLT. So there are 74 total BLT people for 10 schools.
We're hoping. Again, it's creating a pool.
Oh,
have
okay.
The principals ask for volunteers. They get 10 people per building, say. This would be a
But not
74, so we have
necessarily-
not necessarily all of them are going to be available.
Okay.
So it's just that making sure that we have the opportunity for multiple fall. So if it's on July 3rd and we have 7 people, and only 3 of them can come, then at least we have the 3
All right.
representatives there.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor of P164, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. B140. B140 bid award for summer transportation package. I'll entertain a motion to accept B140.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Second, discussion.
I again pulled that. What is Wildwood School and where is it and why are,
Wildwood School is a school up in Albany, and we have students with disabilities who have 12-month IEPs or who go there during the regular school year also.
Oh, okay.
We transport.
so they can't go to our summer,
Right.
special ed summer school?
Right. They're a 12-month IEP to go, and that's their placement.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all those in favor? I'm sorry.
And we're sharing this cost with Socrates?
Correct.
So that's why we have the 30-day estimate?
Right.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, all those in favor of B140, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And CS30. Okay, CS30, and we do have, I entertain a motion to accept CS30.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Discussion. CS30 is a civil service appointment. And do you want to read that for every child? CS30, it's on page 4. Yeah,
Be it resolved upon the recommendation of Dr. Paul J. Padalino, Superintendent of Schools, that the following be approved by the Board of Education. Appointment of Abby Reinhardt, Cioni, provisional non-aligned payroll supervisor, pending results of civil service exam, and an annual prorated salary of $65,000, effective June 30th, 2015. And Lisa Faxon, Cioni, provisional non-aligned payroll clerk, pending result of civil service exam, and an annual prorated salary of $42,000, effective July 1st, 2015.
Discussion?
Has the exam already been given? No,
No, pending.
pending.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The exam has been given?
The result, okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, please do.
Just a quick comment. I do want to congratulate Abby and Lisa for their appointment. Many of us know them. They work here in Cioni, so they're moving into. Abby was already in the payroll department. Lisa was in the business department. She's moving over into the payroll department. And Melanie Derbacher, who is leaving, has been. You all know her. She's been there for a very long time, and I think Abby knows those are big shoes to fill. But Abby's been there the whole time, so she's learned the ropes and can step in. So we're very lucky and happy to have both Abby and Lisa jumping into an extremely important department. And I think it's a good opportunity for me to say, the action goes on in our schools. We see our kids, we see our teachers, and we're just kind of, Cioni just kind of exists. But this really, there are great people doing great work here, very important work. And I'm really, I say this to the board privately, but I mean, I can't say enough about how proud I am of our team here that really keeps the district coming, and Abby and Lisa are two of those people. So congratulations and thank you.
So now we have to vote on it. All those in favor of CS 30, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Congratulations. And on to BOE 95. That's on page 8. 95 maybe? BOE 95, Director of Facilities 2. Whereas the City of Kingston Civil Service Department has changed the civil service job title of Director of Buildings and Grounds to Director of Facilities 2. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby abolishes the full-time position of Director of Buildings and Grounds and establishes the full-time position of Director of Facilities 2, both of which are in the competitive class of civil service. And be it further resolved that Thomas Clapper Civil Service job title is hereby changed from Director of Buildings and Grounds to Director of Facilities 2. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Just a question, Sue, but that's the only change. Everything else remains the same, just the title.
That is the only change.
Correct.
Just for clarification, thank you.
Yes.
I wanted to pull, if there's a facilities 2, is there a facility 1?
There's three. No, one, there's 2 and 3. There's 1, 2, and 3, and it's really about the size of the district. So when they give the test, you take one for each, and so 1 is the smaller, then 2 were our size, and 3 is the much larger school districts. So and this is a new test. This is one of the they changed this from a local civil service test. Now it's statewide.
Oh.
So when people had to come in and take tests, Mr. Clapper was actually competing with people from Staten Island, Buffalo. There's people from all over the place. So we're very pleased that we're able to keep the continuity, and that Mr. Clapper is able to stay with us. That he didn't test too well on 3, maybe, I don't know, didn't get the big jobs. But again, not that this is a change in anything other than title. It is another opportunity to point out some of the people who are behind the scenes doing the things that they need to do every day so we can have school, so we can have places for our students to go, so they're clean and safe and healthy for our kids. So although you're not being appointed to anything new, Mr. Clapper, I'll take this opportunity to thank you for everything you do.
You had to take a new test for this?
Correct.
Any other comments? I would like to congratulate Mr. Clapper, and I'm very glad, having worked with him for several years in facilities now, that he and there will be continuity. All those in favor of BOE 95, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. That brings us to the end of the consent agenda. Okay, we are now on to the Board of Education reports. We're going to begin with diversity project.
We had a meeting on yesterday, and I'm going to defer to Superintendent Catalina.
Okay, we had a meeting yesterday, our last meeting of the year. I think we've accomplished some things this year, and we were all very pleased with that. We accomplished, creating some resources for them within the district website for teachers to go and access. We've actually put them on Mr. Burge's Department of Teaching and Learning. We've created a mission and vision for the diversity cadre. We've also reached out to really start looking at some new professional development opportunities, whether they be in face-to-face or online. So I think we're pleased with our progress. We're also, one of the topics we continue to talk about is diversity among our faculty and staff. And I think we're starting some new initiatives moving in that direction to help us to really take a look at the diversity in our faculty and staff and see what we can do as a school district to really reflect the students that we serve. So I think we've had a productive year. We talk a lot, that's for sure. I watch Reverend Childs get anxious with all the talking. But I think there's real momentum, real very dedicated people on the committee, and I'm pleased with the attendance. We have really pretty much an opportunity, or a representative from every school building. So it's been a good kind of energizing of the committee for this year.
Thank you very much.
Did I miss anything, Reverend Childs?
You've done well.
Okay.
Any questions? Thank you very much. Facilities. We met on June 10th, last Wednesday. It was the last meeting of the year as well. The steering committee will continue to meet every 2 weeks. The facilities committee has voted to meet every other month because they do a lot of legwork in between. They do all the building inspections, and along with the safety committee comes along as well. And so the facilities committee will be meeting every other month next year, probably beginning in September, just to be given the calendar for the year of the inspection schedule, etc. They had an end of the year kind of celebration. We had awards and thanks for everyone. Most people, I have not heard otherwise, most people have decided to stay on the committee for next year as well. And there were 3 people asked, and who will reach out to and ask if they would also like to stay as well. KSQ and BBL put on KSQ gave us an update of what was going on with summer work, and BBL gave the presentation that we received as a board in, I believe it was early May, the parallels between the original design and what was being done now. And it was they were only late in getting that because we received it on an off month when they were not meeting. So they received it, and we're very appreciative. The building concerns reports that come in every year from the building principals and the head custodians will be posted online after everybody has reviewed them, and they'll be available complete with pictures, etc. Complete maintenance tasks for 2013, 2014 is already up there. The 2014, 2015. The 2015-2016 concerns will become the guide for what's done. And there's already a lot of projects that are planned by the district in addition to what BBL is doing. Mind if I ask Tom? No. Mr. Clapper, can you let us know some of the projects that the district is also making sure are done
For this summer?
for the summer?
We are replacing the lines and making repairs to gym floors at Miller and at Valley. We're also refinishing the field house floor because it's a competition floor. We need to do that every year because we're still going to have basketball games there this year. Good Lord willing, these folks do their job, which I know we will. We are at Crosby at the portables. We are moving 4 small instructional spaces in there, so we're building walls there. We're building 2 art rooms at Bailey. We're replacing 2 hot water heaters, one at Edson and one at Crosby. I'm trying to think, the hot water coil at the at the kitchen, main kitchen. The main heater there broke last year. We're replacing that in-house. We're replacing 7 univent heaters with univent heaters and air conditioning features for Miller office, and we have a few little concrete projects outside. And along with all our normal cleaning and field maintenance and all the other things that we do. So we have a full schedule for this summer.
Thank you very much. Any questions about facility?
Just a comment, I'm glad to hear about the art spaces at Bailey. I know that's been an issue this year, so I'm glad that's getting taken care of.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. We'll move along to the D Stadium Commission. Mr. Michael.
Yes, Mr. President. The commissioners met last week at the City Hall, and I have 2 announcements to make. That the field maintenance work was postponed twice because of the rainy conditions. Hopefully the crew will be there this Friday and complete the work. And also our golf tournament date has changed from August 17th to August 10th now. And flyers will be posted online and also at the Cioni buildings and the rest of the That's all.
Any questions? We'll move along to Mrs. Collins, the Policy Committee. There's policy adoption about the peaceful volunteer.
Yes, we do this evening. Should I just give a brief report before we do that, if I may?
Yes,
because we met on June 5th. We had a 2.5-hour meeting. It was quite interesting. Thanks to Reverend Childs, he had invited local attorney and chairperson of the Human Rights Commission, David Clegg. So we had a long and I think productive talk continuing our discussion on restorative justice, and Mr. Clegg has very kindly volunteered his time to look at the part of our Jefferson Code that deals with consequence, etc. We talked, which really spurred some of this discussion about some of the disproportionate suspension rates for our special ed students, our African American students, etc. So it was a long but thorough and productive discussion, and we're going to be continuing that our next meeting on 7/10. We also did look at some policies that were moving forward over the summer, but some of them needed a little bit more fine-tuning. And that said, tonight we're bringing forth Policy 1250, which had been on the books. I think I mentioned last meeting that we amended it for that emergency situation when field trips do arise. So that's the only change, which is in bold, where it says, however, the superintendent or his or her designee may grant emergency approval for volunteers pending future board approval. We had our first reading. It is on our agenda tonight for adoption, so I will move that forward if I may.
Bring a second. Any discussion on that? Mr. Chauncey?
I would like to offer an amendment to this proposed resolution. The sentence before the new sentence, adding the phrase, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, so that that sentence reads, Tier 2 and Tier 3 volunteers must be approved by the Board of Education upon the recommendation of the superintendent.
Second.
I would agree. I think we ought to vote on that, right? But yes, I have no problem with that. I agree with Mr. Chauncey. That's traditional, what you brought up the
The
last time,
discussion
that's
is that
usual protocol, correct?
This is,
Yes.
well, we passed these, we approved these volunteers under professional services, and every professional service resolution is on, except the volunteers are upon the approval of the superintendent, and I think that for consistency going forward, we should include that. We should do that, the volunteer resolutions in the same manner.
I would agree, thank you.
Is this for the resolution or the policy?
It's from policy,
Policy.
resolution.
The resolution today already passed. I mean, we passed an amendment last week, last time, but it wasn't changed. I'm not going to fight that all over again.
Right.
Who's changing this resolution?
Okay, but the wording is in the policy.
In the
Where?
policy.
Policy
itself.
language.
Yes.
so-
Yep.
Not in the agenda for today.
Yeah.
P-158 reads upon the recommendation of Dr. Paul J. Cowley.
Where, not in my copy.
No, because it got updated.
It was updated.
I noticed that I had forgotten that after I did the minutes.
Okay.
You're adding that to the policy itself.
It's in the policy, so. Okay, all those in favor of BOE 87, currently the amended language is in the policy, no? Okay, all right, now I'm,
Jim, Mrs. Shaughnessy's amendment is to the policy itself.
Right.
Correct. That was never changed, so we're changing it now.
Right, so
And
that,
that's what we're
that
voting on.
amendment has to be
okay,
approved
so, all right.
Right.
first.
Okay, so first we're voting to accept the amended language, to include the phrase that we agreed upon.
Yes.
Correct.
at the last meeting. Okay. All those in favor of the amended language for policy 1250, please signify by saying
Aye.
aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. Now back to BOE 87, it's been moved and seconded. And is there any other discussion other than the amended language? Okay. So all those in favor of BOE 87, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Which moves us on to old business. Now, in old business, I have a resolution which was passed on December 10th. And this is the resolution 2014-B53. And this is just reading it into the record. It's a donation that was made in memory of someone. We never read into the record that it was in memory of someone. So we're just reading it into the record so it will reflect. Donation of Kingston High 2014-B53. Whereas an anonymous donor wishes to donate a scanner to the engineering students at Kingston High School in memory of Cindy Lane, also known as Cindy Moore, for her many years of dedicated service in the teaching of mathematics to the students of the Kingston High School, and whereas Dr. Paul J. Catalino, Superintendent of Schools, has reviewed the proposal and recommends the acceptance of this gift, and now therefore let it be resolved that the Board of Education City School District of Kingston, New York does hereby accept with grateful appreciation the donation of a scanner to Kingston High School, and that was unanimous vote on December 10th, so it's now been read into the record. And we have a walking resolution under old business. BOE 99, Michelle has that. BOE 99, that the Board of Education hereby authorizes extending the date of closing of Title I Junior School Building and Property located at 1700 Saukville Road, Woodstock, New York, until July 31, 2015, which is the final deadline for closing of the title and sale of Xena to Music Lab Incorporated, after which time Xena will go back on the market. And be it further resolved that the Board hereby directs the school attorney to prepare an amendment to the contract of sale and authorizes the Board President to execute such amendment to the contract of sale, a copy of which shall be incorporated by reference within the minutes of this meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay, discussion. All those in favor of BOE 99, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. And we have another walk-in resolution on the lighting and energy management. B-143. And since this is brand new to the public, it's not on the agenda, we'll read the whole thing. B143, lighting and energy management. Whereas Central Hudson has proposed a lighting and energy management solution for the Kingston City School District for 7 school buildings, including Bailey and Warren Middle Schools, and Chambers, Grays, JFK, Edson, and GW Elementary Schools through use of Lime Energy, a commercial electrical energy efficiency contractor chosen by Central Hudson through a competitive bidding process. And whereas this lighting program proposal consists of lighting retrofits and upgrades at the above school buildings in order to improve energy efficiency and reduce the district's energy costs. And whereas Alan Olson, Deputy Superintendent for Human Resources and Business, and Thomas Clapper, Director of Facilities, have analyzed the information provided by Central Hudson and have determined that due to the incentives provided by Central Hudson, the district will pay less than 1/3 of the actual cost of the lighting retrofits and upgrades. Therefore, be it resolved upon recommendation of Dr. Paul J. Padalino, Superintendent of Schools, and Alan Olson, Deputy Superintendent for Human Resources and Business, that the Board of Education of the Kingston City School District hereby approves the district's participation in the Central Hudson Lighting Program for the above school buildings through Lime Energy at a cost not to exceed $32,797.05. And be it therefore resolved that the board hereby determines that the lighting retrofits and upgrades at the above school buildings will not have a significant environmental impact, and declares this project a Type 2 action pursuant to 615.5 the State Environmental Quality Review Act regulations, and no further action is required. And be it further resolved that the board president is authorized to execute participation agreements for each of the above school buildings with Lime Energy for the lighting program. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
I don't know if this is appropriate, and I know we just got this evening, but I think it's great that we're doing this for the 7 school buildings. We know that the high school is covered by the Second Century Project, but if there's any way that we could look at Crosby and Meyer too, even if it's not through this, but through something else when we do our inspections, I think that's only fair.
Anybody else? All right, all those in favor of B143, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we are on to any other old business? Mr. Resolutions, any other old business? New business? Board member announcement. Board member announcements.
I actually have some new business.
Oh.
Actually. I know that UCCC is planning to open that satellite campus this fall, correct? And I'm just wondering what kinds of classes they'll be offering there that our students can take advantage of.
I don't know yet.
But are we working with them to make sure that there's something our students...
We've been talking, and they're in some transition
Yeah.
right now, so but we've been talking hopefully to solidify some things by fall.
Any other new business? Okay, board member announcement. Mr. Michael.
Yes, I was so glad to attend the Kingston High School Seniors Public Speaking Contest at the Ulster Community College last week. And I can say all 10 participants, they did a great job. And I can even add I did a lot better than Donald Trump. Candidacy for president. Congratulations to all of them.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
I also was at that affair, and I thought they did a marvelous job. I enjoyed it, and even one of the winners emailed me one of her speech, so I got to learn how to speak like she does.
I would like to say, I'd like to commend the advisors who worked so closely with the students. The 2 winners, Emily Einhorn and Brooke Milliken, did very, very well. And they worked with Mrs. Still and Ms. Skorka, who are the advisors to this particular public speaking group at the high school. This was very evident that they've done a lot of diligent work and practice. And And this is the 6th year, I believe, in the Williams Pack competition. It's very well worth attending.
As I sat there, I was just wondering, I think it was 10 of them. Was that all, or was there more, or were those the finalists? Or?
Those were the finalists.
Oh, okay.
I think
There were 25,
in the
yes.
original group, and 10 were finalists. They were selected.
Okay, they were good, yeah.
Yes. And our judges, Mr. Ward Todd, who's been doing it for several years now, Mr. John Moriarty, and Mary Terza from the college, worked with a rubric. So we had a little talk with them afterwards, but they were very impressed, as was I. Any other board member announcement? Okay. Go ahead.
I was in attendance, and several board members were also in attendance at the Senior Awards Night last week, so I did want to mention that. I do want to thank Mr. Reinhardt, if he's here in the audience tonight, for how well that went off. Our students were in their best dressed, and they really made us proud to see them receive. How much money was? $97,000. Yeah, about $100,000. Community raised money for scholarships for our students. So really, it's hot and it's long, but it was very enjoyable this year. I did have I like to see our kids come across the stage, and it was a lot of. So I do want to thank Mr. Reinhardt, his class advisors, as well as Mrs. Stocker, who also does a lot of the back work there. I also went the next night to the sports awards, so I know Mr. Burge was there, and I think there were several board members there as well. The sports awards, so I want to thank Mr. Maish, Coach Maish, for putting that together. And again, so we saw our nights in a row. Both were hot and long, but they were still good to see our students and get recognized for what they do.
Any other board member? Okay. We're back to the portion of the meeting where we welcome public participation. If there's anyone who would like to address the board, remember, limit it to 2 minutes. Please speak directly into the microphone, and Mr. Kerner will let you know when you're approaching your 2 minutes. Anybody? Okay. Well, as we have no need of a second executive session, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?